Let's begin by coming onto our hands and knees. Cat to cow. Exhale back to the ceiling. Inhale, tuck your toes, extend your breastbone forward, belly button into the spine. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Notice the feet. You do want to flip your feet as we warm the feet up and the back, opening the back and extending the heart forward. Just a couple more times like this, cat to cow pose. And for your next one, you'll extend your right leg back, your left leg back, then lift the hips up and press back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Then we inhale into plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now feel your hips lifting up high as you press your thighs back. Inhale, plank pose. Keep your thighs lifted, engage in your core. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale, plank pose. Your shoulders is moving back, your heart's forward, and then exhale, downward facing dog. And then we move into plank pose. As you move into plank pose, push your heels behind you as you were doing into that cow pose when your knees was to the floor, and extend your heart forward. Shoulders moving to the back of your mat as your heart is extending forward. And then firm your arms in towards each other and keep your thighs and everything facing the floor, lifting towards the ceiling. As we breathe, we're holding this for a minute. 1 minute into plank pose. Keep engaging and finding newness in the body. Breathe. Not sagging at the hips. Heels reaching back. Heart is reaching forward. Shoulders moving back. Ears are lengthening away from your shoulders. Almost there. And as we firmen the arms and still, we lift the hips up. Keep the engagement of your thighs and belly. And press your thighs back as you stretch the mat forward with the base of your fingers and your fingertips, not the heels of your palms. Breathe. Inhale, plank pose, and then slowly lower your knees down to the floor as we come into child's pose. And now sit up slowly onto your heels. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers and then press the ceiling palms up and then turn to your right because we come into a spinal twist here. Inhale, arms up. And then we turn the opposite direction. Inhale, arms up again. And then we slowly come onto our hands and your knees, stepping the right leg, foot, and your left leg back. And then we come back into the downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Lower all the way down into your belly and come into that little cobra pose. And then we come up into upward facing dog. Sit back into child's pose. Come into your hands and your knees. And then now we're going to stand onto our knees. Bring your hands to your hips, thumbs right at the top of the buttocks. Lengthen the buttocks away from your lower back. Open up your chest towards the sky. Come into the child's pose and then press back again. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Pressing the thighs back. Inhale, plank pose. Lower all the way down into your belly. Try to get all 10 toenails into the floor for the upward facing dog. Come onto our knees again. Inhale, sitting up, coming up, arms up to the ceiling. Turn to your left. As you turn to your left, feel your right hip crease moving back, not forward. Belly button into the spine and broaden across your collarbones as you keep your chest nice and open. Take several more breaths here. Looking forward, inhale, arms up, and then we turn towards the opposite side. So whatever side you're twisting to, that hip crease, the opposite hip crease moves back, not forward. Belly button into the spine and broaden across the collarbones and breathe into the back body. Looking forward, inhale, Come up onto your hands and your knees. Stretch your one leg back at a time. Exhale, downward facing dog. Firm the arms in. Inhale, plank pose. Go all the way into your belly. Spreading all 10 toenails into the floor. Upward facing dog. Pressing back into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And then walk slowly forward halfway. Then walk your hands back. Then bend your knees, hands to your hips, coming up with the flat back. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Press your thighs back. Open up your chest towards the sky. Think locust pose here, driving your heels of your feet through the floor. Now looking forward, inhale into a chair pose. Exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana. Extend the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana, stepping back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale all the way. Exhale down into your belly. Come to the upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stepping the feet forward halfway, walking your hands back halfway, hands to your hips, bend your knees, reach your heart forward, come all the way up. Coming into that standing locust pose, Shalabhasana, sides of your shoulders moving back. Drive your heels of your feet through the floor. Look forward. Inhale, exhale, chair pose, folding forward to Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, stepping back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, all the way down into the floor. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Again, walk the feet halfway forward. Walk your hands back. Hands towards your hips, come up. And now this time, drive your left heel of your foot through the floor. Stretch your opposite hands down, and then you drive your right foot through the floor. Stretch your left hand down. Then we're going to extend the left arm up as we're pressing the left foot through the floor. Extend the right arm up. Press your right foot through the floor. Extend both arms up. Exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana, Ardha Uttanasana. Walking back, stepping back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, all the way down to the floor. Come up to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. This time coming to the child's pose. Onto your hands and your knees, and we're going to come up into working this variation of Ustrasana, camel's pose. Hands to your hips, lengthen your buttocks away from your lower back, and then roll the sides of your shoulders back, bottom tips of your shoulder blades into your chest. Press your thighs back as you lift the bottom tips of your shoulder blades deeply into your chest, and then we come up into our knees. Sit back onto your heels. Inhale, arms up. And then we're going to do a spinal twist to release that, turning towards your left with your right hip crease moving back. Keep your chest open, not collapsing. Inhale, arms up. Over to the opposite side. Keep your chest open, whatever side you're twisting towards. The opposite hip moves back. Keep your pelvis parallel to the top of your mat. Coming forward, downward facing dog. Breathe. Lift the hips up. Slowly you walk forward halfway. Walk your hands back. Bend your knees, hands to your hips. And then we're stretching up to the sky. And again, as your left heel moves down, your left arm stretches up and you stretch over to the sides. Crescent pose, do the opposite side. And then we come into the chair pose. Find the length in the upper body. Fold forward to Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Ardha Chaturanga Dandasana is the plank pose. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana is the upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Knees to the floor again. We're going to come back to Ustrasana, camel's pose. Roll the inner arms forward. Opening up the chest, lengthen the buttocks away from your lower back, and feel the bottom tips of your shoulder blades lifting up towards the ceiling. Good. Opening up the heart, and then we bring the hands in front of your chest. Sit back onto your heels. Inhale, arms up, twisting towards the left with that right hip crease moving back. Breathe. Inhale. Turning center forward and go the opposite way on your exhale. Always go into a twist on the exhale. Inhale out of a twist. Fold forward to child's pose and just take a couple of breaths here. Giving thanks and honoring yourself for this practice so far. And just breathe, releasing any pent-up negative energy. And then slowly, we begin to prepare ourselves for Shavasana. Taking your time. And if you notice here in this video, there is not much space that I'm working in. I'm using the space of the mat. That's all you need. And just begin to allow your body to soften, the outer body. And then the inner body begins to soften too. Then allow your entire being to melt beyond the surface of the earth, releasing, letting everything go. And then stay here for as long as you like in Shavasana. Give yourself that good Shavasana. And when you're ready to come out to Shavasana, just begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bringing the awareness back into the body. Inhale your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And extend the right arm over your head. Roll over into your right side into a fetal position. And then when you're ready, slowly press yourself up as you come to a comfortable seated position. And whatever position that is, just come and sit into it. Be still. Take some time to allow your practice to just settle in. Breathe. And keep finding that length into your entire body, especially your torso as you root down into your foundation and rebound the crown of your head towards the sky. Breathe. Focus on your breath. You can use this time too as a meditation. Join your palms together when you're ready, then slowly bow down to the inner guru, your inner guru within yourself.